We are being programmed to be addicted to outrage. We are being algorithmically driven to be divisive and to be emotionally supercharged when people do or say things that we don't like. But we're being fed exactly what we hate the most. When I turn things off for a little bit online and I interact with people in the world, I have so many great experiences with other people that are different politically, religiously, spiritually, socioeconomically, culturally, seem to be able to get along with anybody. And then you turn things on online, and suddenly you start to feel like, God, the world is falling apart. We are at the end stage. I think we can temper that with something, for me, Scripture. And a good example of how Jesus, if you're looking at Christianity, can cool or temper those supercharged, heated emotions. There's a great story, John chapter 9, verses 1 through 7, that details the healing of a blind man. And what's interesting about this story is it begins with the Pharisees, the religious elite of the day, standing rather adversarially across from Jesus, with this blind man as an example of sin, and asking the very reasonable question, who sinned? The blind man or his parents to cause this? I mean, certainly if there was some kind of curse that had befallen somebody like this and they weren't whole, it would be because they deserved it. And Jesus says, neither the man nor his parents. This was done so that God's glory could be revealed. And here we are now, 2,000 years later, talking about this very story. So, I mean, I find that rather miraculous in and of itself and rather prophetic. But here we are. So Jesus, in order to prove what he was saying about this being done to reveal the glory of God, he proceeds to heal this blind man. He does so in an interesting way. Side note, he spits on the ground. He creates mud. He wipes it on the man's eyes. You know, a lot happened in that moment. It was a Sabbath, so no work was to be done. He's kneading. No kneading of dough, of clay to make bricks. No kneading of the dirt. He was working. Even healing would be considered to be breaking the Sabbath because work was being done. And he did it by breaking down disgust barriers, by saying that, the kind of good that I'm going to set the example of is one where you break rules and norms and you get your hands dirty and you find those that are a betrayal of all that seems sacred, and you get your hands dirty with them. You get in the mud with them. You work it with them, and by participating in the things that are disgusting to some of us in this world, and loving them anyway through that, it doesn't mean you join them in their sin, but you participate in their healing. Then God's work is being done, and he invited everybody that day to do the good work of God. When people are actively standing adversarially against them, accusing them, the Satan, is a title. It's a description of a job in Scripture. This is the adversary. This is the accuser. So we are being the Satan if we stand accusing others, if we stand in judgment of others, and create barriers between us. I mean, that is what Satan does. It creates barriers by demonstrating the differences in who we are, rather than breaking down the barriers, getting our hands dirty to do so that we might find our similarities. And our similarities are that we are all broken and in need of healing and love in this journey together. But if we're not diving into Scripture and being reminded of these kind of stories, where are we getting this in the world? Because the world is not reminding us of our potential. And the world is not calling us to get our hands dirty and find those that are different, that are ostracized, that are oppressed, that are downtrodden, that are outliers, that are broken, hurt, needy. Like the worst among us are in need of love, and we're called to do that. So we have a choice to stand adversarially and accuse others, to love others in a way that breaks the rules, to do good.